Hello everyone and welcome back to the Daybound SMP server. So I originally wanted to start things off today with a bit of a bang because we are currently ancient debris mining here in the Nether. But after watching a YouTube video from fellow YouTuber iCraftMC, I found out that late game ancient debris gathering is better done when you use a pickaxe and go along the chunk borders. So if we take a little pause here and I press F3 and G on Java, you can see we're going along the chunk border here. So instead of having a little explosive intro, we're just doing this so we can try and get the ancient debris as fast as possible. Now, if you're wondering what I'm looking for the ancient debris for is because even though that I love my shiny blue blocks and diamonds, the ancient debris armor just looks a little bit better in my opinion. And today's project is going to involve a lot of mining in the Nether as well, so I want to get that extra durability in my tools to do that, so I can spend less time repairing and more time getting the project finished. So if you give me some time to get up all the ancient debris I need to get my armour and tools fully equipped to Netherite, then I'll be back to discuss what our big project for today is going to be. So after an unknown amount of time mining, because I had to stop midway through to give a little cat some attention, I've ended up with this. 54 pieces of ancient debris, got a bunch of gold, got some blackstone, some netherrack, soul sand, basalt, all of this goodness over here, and all of this nice quartz which I'll put to use. And I actually bought some gold blocks before I came here from Hoodie, but I think with all of this and all of this, I'm probably going to end up with enough gold ingots to get all my netherite, so that's going to be very handy. I'll have some spare gold. But next, I need to go and repair all of my tools before changing them over to netherite. Now this is a lot more doom-fitting. Not to alarm anybody, but I think my game is haunted. So we see this chest, we can all see that this is open, and if I go into the chest and come out, it can't close. I don't know if there's a ghost or there's something very small here stopping it from closing. Haunted. I know I just went on a tangent with the haunted chest down in my iron farm, but I was doing a bit of organising over here and I found these flower pots, and I don't know who left them and I don't know how long they've been there for, so I'm going to need to figure that out. I was just over here organising my nether supplies next to the portal, then I had a little nosy over here just to see if I'd missed anything or left anything, and I seen them, so yeah, nice little surprise, a bunch of flower pots. So now that I'm all geared out with my netherite armour and tools, we can finally get started on the first project of today, which is finally start on the design of the nether tunnel. Now thankfully, a few weeks ago, Marks had actually hooked us up with one of the existing tunnels, so the distance of our tunnel is a lot shorter than what it previously was, which is going to mean a lot less work for us, thankfully. So thank you for that, Marks. But with that said, I'm still going to need to do this in a few different steps. First of which, I'm going to need to lower the ground of our existing tunnel at this section down to meet up with the tunnel that Marks has linked us up to. After that, I'm going to need to extend out the existing tunnel to make it 3 blocks wide. Then I'm going to dig out the floor and replace it all with ice. Next up, I'm going to extend the walls out. And now I'm going to add the first part of the designed nether tunnel. So yeah, in that previous clip where I said it's time to get the first part of the nether tunnel finished, I kind of lied because I have done the first part as you can see here, but I've also finished the rest of the nether tunnel as well because I haven't had much time to record lately, but I have had a lot of time to build, and after many long nights of gathering resources and placing blocks, I have finally finished this nether tunnel. So my original idea for the nether tunnel was to go for something a lot more simple than this, but after speaking with a friend of the channel, Broken Pixel, and doing a sort of cross-server collaboration with him, this is the design that we came up with and the design that I went with. It is probably the biggest nether tunnel that I've, well, not probably, it's the biggest nether tunnel I've ever built, and I have to tell you, I'm not going to be building one this big again for a long time because this took so many hours. So the idea of the Nether tunnel is to basically tell the story of how I came across the Daybound server and sort of getting things up and running in a little Viking village. So up at the start here we have this big massive Nether portal that links up to our base. Then we have our first 20 long section here which tells the first part of the story. And this is basically just a nice big 3D Viking ship that sort of shows my journey here to the Daybound server sailing across the open seas. Then next to that we have our first little filler section here which is using the design that Hoodie made up that we seen in the last episode, our sort of crazy Doom guy Viking. So we've got a big 3D version of me on a nice little boat, and we even included the little Viking hat that Hoodie made as well because I loved that design. And all of these sections are repeated on both sides of the tunnel. Then over here this is the next 20 block long section that sort of tells the story of me coming across the big mountain that we've set up base at because I absolutely fell in love with the shape of the mountain. And then we can see we've got the big snowy hills in the background, we've got clouds, we've got the big trees, we've got the little houses placed on top, and we've got some of the caves as well featured using some andesite walls and some holes there just to give the build a little bit more depth and detail. Then next to that we have our second little filler design. So we have two filler designs. We have the little Doom guy character that Hoodie designed, and we have this little mining section. So this is basically just to show where I went and gathered up all of my materials and riches to get the base up and running. Then next to that we have our third and final 20 block long design, which is my Viking house. So this is a little scaled down version that myself and Broken Pixel made. And to toot my and Broken Pixel's horn a little, I think we've done a really great job at scaling down the base. We've included all of the detail in it. We've got the wooden section with the hay roof, the stone and wood section where I live, and the little canopy over at here. I think we've done a good job at squashing it all in, and it really fits in nice and well. Then I was originally thinking of doing a different design for each of the 20 long sections, but that would have took way longer, and this project was already long enough, so I'm glad I didn't. And you can see as we go through, we just repeat those same 3 sections with our little fillers being included as well. Then as we come up to the corner section here, I had to change this up a little bit because of the sizes didn't work out. So this is a little bit shorter than 20 blocks long. Then we have this little corner section here that I couldn't completely cover because this goes through to the little desert where we mine up all of our sand. So I had to keep this accessible for the other Daybounders and myself because, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of concrete in this build. Then over in this section, I decided to do probably one of my favourite things, and this is the first time I've ever done this. I added in a little monster. Now, I wasn't going off anything too particular with this. I just wanted some sort of like sea snake lizard beast that would sort of be following me through the ocean on my journeys here. And I came up with this. Now, I will admit it looks a little bit derpy. I think I done a decent job, but definitely can see the derp in its face. And well, speaking to Broken Pixel and showing him this, he called it the Loch Ness Monster. And because, as you know, that I'm Scottish, I think calling this the Loch Ness Monster is the only right thing to do, and it will forever be enshrined with that name. And as we boat down this section going up to where the Nether Hub is to get us to the shopping district and Daybound Village, you can see the other section here which is unique, well kinda unique. I have the big ships over here at this entrance again, then I've added myself and a little armour stand, so this is my little boat where I'm guiding the ship towards Daybound. And with that, I think it's time for a well-deserved break from all of this building and time to go and do something a little bit more fun. And to do that, I'm going to head over to our little minigame designated area, because Omni has put up more minigames than I've played at this point, and he is putting these up extremely quickly, so I want to get a few knocked off today in this video. Now this is his latest one, so this is a co-op minigame actually, and I'm going to need to wait until someone else is on before I get a chance to play this. But as well as this co-op game, we also have this maze game here. This was Omni's second game that he made. And over here, this is Omni's first game, so this is a little parkour challenge, and originally when I completed this, he only had this first section done, and now he's added in this top level as well. Now, I did do the first section off camera, just hanging about with a couple of the bounders, so in full transparency, I think we'll start over here at the first game, and I'll do the first section as well, just to prove that I have done it, and I haven't cheated. So that is minigame number 1 completed, and if we look at the bottom of the screen here, we can see I beat Obstacle Tower level 1, and I beat the Obstacle Tower level 2. But I do have to admit, that second level, there was a bit of time where I honestly thought that I wasn't going to be able to get it complete, but somehow through just sheer luck and persistence, I managed to get it done. But yeah, that was a very fun game, Obney, so I'm looking very forward to getting the maze one played. And I think I have the time, so let's get the maze one done right now as well. And that is the second minigame completed today, and I would just like to point out before we continue that I did actually complete it in hard mode, that we can see here over my shoulder. But yeah, this was a really fun little 2D maze. It's different from a lot of the other maze games I've played, and I think I have to applaud Omni because it was challenging, but it wasn't challenging to the point where the maze was just frustrating and annoying. Which, if you're like me and you're absolutely horrible with your sense of direction and you are always getting lost, especially in Minecraft, you will also know how annoying that mazes can be. But yeah, that is the first 2 of 3 minigames defeated, so there's still no one online, so I'll need to go on the Discord and try and twist someone's arm to get the co-op one done with me. I did suggest to Obney that we could play it, but he said he might be at a bit of an advantage because he made it, which is true, so we'll let him away. I think I could have took him, and I think he's just using that as an excuse, but we'll get someone else to play that with us anyway. Then I think his plan for over in this section is he actually wants to add a 4th game here to sort of complete this little cube design he's got going on, and this is going to be a PvP game. So I think since the PvP game, I don't think he should be able to cheat too much at that. I think taking down the creator at his own game would be a very nice thing to include in a video, and possibly quite funny, either when we completely destroy Omni or he completely destroys me for being way too cocky. But that's enough for playtime. Let's go back and finish off this video with another little bit of building. And I know I said I'd done a lot, but you can never really have too much building. And for this final build project of the video, we're actually going to be heading towards Daybound Village, because it is something I've been meaning to do ever since I joined the server, and it is over in this way. See, this is what I'm saying about that terrible sense of direction. And if we come over here to this side of the village, this is where we have a little plot section where all of the bounders, well, the new bounders, have built up some bases and starter bases. So these are Hoodie's starter tents where he was keeping all of his supplies. This is Omni's house where he's been living throughout most of the server, but he's actually got his own base set up now. This house was put up by Rabbit. I think he's still staying here. He does have an area, but I'm not sure if he's got a house built up there just yet. Then this one here, this is Hoodie's house as well, and he's actually got the Daybound sort of sun logo at the front here, which is very nice, and it is a nice big house. And I was trying to see if I can make a face out of this because I've fallen. That looks like a pair of eyes to me, but I don't think there's really anything we could use as a mouth, but it is a very nice house. Then round behind Hoodie's house, this is Magpie's house over here. It's a bit squashed in, but she's got these nice big massive windows at the side, and there's a lot of green foliage, some nice detail with all the different flowers and plants and such. And these little sort of chandelier design here and on the inside there, I really like them, and they were actually inspired one of the builds on my Better Minecraft series, so they did. So Thank you very much, Magpie, for showing off this little tip. Then over by Magpie, this is Sassy's base over here. Now he did originally have a massive statue of himself sitting on a throne, but he decided to take it down and go with a more traditional house build because he thought people didn't like it, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the best thing to do, and I wouldn't mind a big massive statue house sitting on a throne. Then over in this back little plot here, this is one I reserved for myself. So this is one of the bigger plots because if you've been around my channel for any time, you know the builds I do are always way too big because I have a problem with scale. I've said this countless times as well. So I wanted to make sure I had enough space to get it built and I wasn't encroaching on anyone else's. And I think I do have pretty good size and it does leave some space. But I think since we skipped the build for the Nether tunnel, let's do a little time-lapse build because this is going to be a lot more simple and I do love a little time-lapse myself. And late as always, I finally finished my Daybound village house. So this was inspired by a piece of artwork that I seen online and I'll leave linked in the description below. Where it's like they've took an old Viking or sort of reclaimed Viking ship and sawed it in half and turned it into this sort of windmill styled house. And it's split into two sections, so we've got a bottom floor here and a top floor up there that we can use these stairs in this little balcony area to get to. Then in the bottom section down here, I've turned this into a little storage and crafting area. So we've got our various tool stations, crafting bench, then we've got some barrels, some chests for storage, and for detail I've just put around some lanterns and some potted flowers. Then behind our balcony I've added some little log or wood storage here just to try and add a bit more detail to the area, just fit in with what Magpie and Hoodie's done outside of their base. Then coming up to the front of the balcony area I've got some hay bales, some more barrels and our windmill here. Then we have a ladder on the wall where we can get up to work on the back of the windmill. Then coming into the top room, this is a little bedroom area, so this is where I can sleep. Got a nice little desk, some bedside tables, candles, sea pickle as a little drinking cup, paintings on the wall for some more detail, a stray skill because I have very many of these and I need to use them somewhere. Then a closet over here, so using armor stands with the chains going through and then surrounded with the dark oak trapdoors. And I like to use the dark oak trapdoors and stuff for more of a fancy or living looking feel. Then I use a spruce for more industrial crafting area. I feel like they go really well in those situations. Then if you're wondering how you can do this with the armor stands, what you basically do is if you place the armor stands, then if you place the chains just up above them, you can use a piston to push the chains down into the armor stands and it looks like they're tied together. Then one thing that I'll actually do before I forget is I'll show you the back. So this is the first time I've ever built like a boat-like structure in Minecraft. So definitely please do in the comments, let me know what you think. And if you've got any more experience than I do, then please leave suggestions on how I can improve it. I feel like it's not too curved. I could probably do a better job at getting it more curved, but I am happy with how it's turned out nonetheless. Then we have the This Is Doom banners as well, just to fit in with our Viking theme and area. But that's going to have to do it for this video, so thank you very much for watching as always, and if you enjoyed the video be sure to like and subscribe for more Minecraft content in the future. On your screen to the left you can see the previous episode from the Daybound SMP server, as well as a video that YouTube thinks you would enjoy, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!